The first lady brought up privilege is both parents. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what they understand, okay? Because they'll sit there and say that white privilege don't exist and then begin to explain it to you. So the first one, sit there talking about some privilege is both parents, a child being brought up or children being brought up by both parents. And she brought up the lack of that in the Black community, and she tied it to poverty. Now understand what she's saying. Ain't no such thing as white privilege, but she brings up that there's and she defines privilege, or at least one of the privileges in the country, as children growing up with two-parent homes. Then she cites that Black communities lack two-parent homes by and large. It's actually rare in the Black community. So they understand that single parenthood, or i.e. single motherhood, is a major setback to a group of people.
This is why living in a time like today, living in a time where the truth is considered lies and the lies considered truth, to be a righteous man, to be a man of the real word, the oracles of Yahweh, you have to be very perspicacious. You have to have a very unapologetic shrewdness to yourself when it comes down to walking in and stepping in and speaking in the word. Because for individuals, these females, these women out here, these modern day women, there is no type of sympathy that's really necessary for them, because they have to run into a brick wall, so to speak. They have to, the blind has to lead the blind. And so it's their fault. There's nobody to blame but themselves for the walls that they're running into, which it leads me to really ask the question, who in the world is in the church? Who's in the church? Because this now confirms what I've been speaking on most of last year, which is redefined family. Because somehow, some way, there's some preachers, pastors, and bishops that are telling these loose, uncovered women that have ran away from what's supposed to cover them, they're lords on earth, as the scriptures let you know, that you can't love him, but don't love the one in front of you. So you calling him Lord, but every Lord he's giving you, starting with your father, you have disrespected, run up from under, shown all kinds of signs of disrespect that show as the mothers used to tell, I heard so many mothers tell their daughters, you gonna get yours back. Whatever you did to me, however you treated me, you're gonna get yours back. Well, in reality, you're gonna get back the disrespect that you gave to the Lord, your father. Because that's the man who should have been able to walk you down the aisle, give you away and say, take over from here to your next Lord. But you do what you want with your body. You divorce all over the place and jump from place to place. And you think that you're all good because of what a man in the church said, a man of God, an officer of the state. You know, the ones that say, by the power vested in me, by the state of such and not by God. And the confirmation of that shows me and proves to me that you shouldn't be denying no gay marriages. Because if you want to follow the laws of the land, no pastor should be able to deny rainbow marriage. So when you talk about these families and these issues, there's a family redefined. You got women coming in the door telling men what they're going to do, ain't going to do, because the selfishness of, I'm only going to bring one baby through this body and all kind of things like that. It's very selfish. I think about Proverbs 17:17, which says that a brother is born for adversity. And it confirms again what I've always spoke on, which is that your aim should at least be for 2 children, at the very least, for the simple fact that that sibling rounds the other sibling out for the world. You should be taught how to share. You should be taught how to function, all that stuff before you even go into a school system, if you're going to be out there in any capacity. And now by the time that you're actually in the classroom, there is none of that, I can't share mentality and mine, which a lot of these grown children with breasts bring into a marriage, and they act like a spoiled, rotten little sister instead of being an actual wife. Now, They know the law is written up for them, that the privilege is written up to benefit them. So they take advantage of that stuff. They take advantage of the fact that I couldn't get my way. My tantrum was thrown. So I'm going to get my way by the help of the courts. I'm going to get my way by the help of pastor. I'm going to get my help. All these different entities are set up for them. And then when it all comes down to it, when you speed up to today, a lot of dudes just don't want to be with y'all, because at the end of the day, they got to deal with an overgrown child who's really not submitting to the Lord the way the Bible told you to submit to the Lord. Your Lord starts with your father, and the next Lord you see after that is your husband. And if you're going to disrespect all of those lords, you're going to have to answer to the supreme Lord. The only one that has the authority to use that word supreme. That's why I don't believe in no white supremacy, because ain't nobody supreme but Yahweh. Ain't nobody supreme but Yeshua. And at the end of the day, so you can talk about rulership. This is a white rulership, possibly. This is rulership. And you're going to have to deal with the time that you're in. And you're going to have to figure out how to line up with the oracles of the Most High Yahweh and get on point. But most of y'all can't honor and respect your lords. And that's why you had the issues you have. So we ain't got no sympathy for those who want to all of a sudden acknowledge that there's a problem, there's privilege because we don't have our homes intact. That's y'all fault. 75 to 80% divorces filed by y'all. You get a baby in you and then scream, my body, my choice, and all of a sudden think that you're in control when you're just the incubator. You don't create no life. You're not the life. You're not carrying the life spark within you all your life until you decide someone to choose. We're the farmers. We decide on the soil. And Yeshua spoke on that all through the Bible, all with his disciples. He spoke on soils and the right soil to choose. And yet y'all still miss it because that inner part of you is demonic without Yahweh.
And like I said, she also tied it to a cycle of poverty. How impoverished are Black single mothers? Black single mothers are one of the most impoverished demographics in society.
Not all, but most.
How impoverished overall is the Black community due to no marriages, low marriage rates, high single motherhood rates, and high poverty rates that go along with that? Because that's how you break a people. That's how you actually keep a people in the cycle of poverty like that.
I ain't gonna play with her. I'm out, baby. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell.